All right, today we are diving into something really unique. It's a system for managing, well, everything in your personal and professional life. It's called the jewelry collection. And honestly, it's a completely different way of looking at strategy and influence. So let's get right into it.
And this one line, it tells you everything you need to know right up front. We're not just talking about another tip or trick here. The vault means we're getting to the absolute core, the foundational secrets of this whole system.
You see, the jewelry collection is positioned as the graduate-level course. This is for people who are done with the basics and are ready to use some seriously strategic blueprints to build their lives and careers. It's the next level.
So to even begin to navigate the vault, you're going to need a map. And this is it. It's a three-tiered hierarchy of power. If you can understand these levels, you've basically got the key to unlock the entire thing. Okay, so it all starts with what's called dropping jewels. Think of these as the foundational laws of the universe for this system, the core principles of psychology, strategy, your personal brand. Then you level up to jewelry and gems. This is your toolkit, right? These are the actual high-impact tools you use to build your presence and manage your emotional energy. And then, at the very top, you get the crown jewels. These are the most guarded, most powerful, reality-bending secrets and survival guides. This is the deep end.
And this is so important. This isn't about just reading something in a book. The whole point of the highest level is action. Each one of these concepts is designed as a protocol, a system you actually run in the real world. You don't just learn them, you use them.
So you might be wondering, how does this actually translate to something you can do day to day? Well, let's start with the first major tool from the vault, a system designed specifically to manage and multiply your opportunities. The whole system really operates on this beautiful, simple duality, offense and defense. Your offense is the 5 doors ledger. That's how you grow, how you cultivate your best connections. And then, on the flip side, you've got your defense, the red ledger. That's how you protect yourself from risk and from people who drain your energy.
So the whole point of the 5 doors ledger is to keep you in a state of what they call abundance. By constantly managing your 5 key opportunities, your 5 doors, you make sure you're never desperate, you're never needy. You are always operating from a position of power and total confidence. And here's how it actually works, the nuts and bolts. You're tracking the door type. What kind of opportunity is this? You log your last contact so nothing goes cold by accident. You're proactively planning your next move. The ROI score forces you to be brutally honest about how valuable something actually is. And then the status. Hot, warm, or cold gives you a snapshot of your entire network in seconds. It's basically a weekly audit of your power.
But how do you know when one of your doors is about to close? The system gives you crystal clear red flags to watch for. If they start canceling on you, if you're always the one reaching out, if money gets weird, or if every conversation is about some hypothetical future, that door is decaying. And the rule is simple. You replace it immediately.
Okay, so that was offense. Let's talk about the other side of the coin, defense. If the 5 doors ledger is about who you let into your world, the red ledger is all about who you keep out. This is your personal firewall.
Its real power is in its privacy. This is not some public hit list. It's a quiet, encrypted personal document where you track people who are a threat to your most valuable assets, your energy, your boundaries, and your reputation.
And the system gets really specific about what you should be documenting. And it's not always about huge, dramatic betrayals. It's about the subtle stuff, the constant little boundary pushes, those interactions that just leave you feeling exhausted, patterns of manipulation, or even just the risk that someone brings by being associated with them.
And there's a 3-part protocol to put this into action. First, you create the document itself. Second, you use the vibe memory protocol. It's a simple gut check after any interaction. Do you feel energized or do you feel anxious? If the answer is anxious, they go on the ledger, no questions asked. And finally, you have your firewall message ready to go, a pre-written, polite, but firm way to deny access to anyone on your list. Now, these tools are incredibly powerful, for sure, but they only work if they're driven by an even more powerful philosophy. This is the mindset, the core belief that makes the whole system tick. And this quote is everything. This is the central idea. Real power, real wealth, real peace of mind, it doesn't come from just adding more and more contacts. It comes from the strategic, ruthless, and unemotional subtraction of anyone or anything that costs you energy, focus, or your safety.
So, we've walked through the hierarchy, we've unpacked 2 of the most critical tools from the vault, The only thing left to do is to turn all this information into action for yourself.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. As you look at your own life, your own network, your own opportunities, what needs to go? Which doors are just draining your energy without giving anything back? Which ones do you need to close for good to protect your power? The answer to that's your first step in activating this entire system.